Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 17 of my podcast, The Pocket Stylist. I'm really excited today to be joined by Edwina, who, fun enough, I met on Clubhouse, and we've been in a few rooms together, and it's really lovely to have you here this morning. So how are you today, Ed?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. Would you like to tell everybody a little bit about what you do? Because obviously I know what you do, and then it will really help as we go through. People can understand a little bit about your wardrobe, and we're going to chat all about that, and before COVID and after COVID and all that type of thing. So tell everybody a little bit about what you do and where you are based.
Yes, so I'm in Doncaster in South Yorkshire, and the reason that I got so interested and was listening to you on Clubhouse is because I'd lost a lot of weight. So prior to lockdown, I lived in jeans, baggy hoodies, quite baggy jeans, but sometimes I used to wear men's jeans because they're a lot comfier, I find. Then I'd lost a lot of weight and I was like, don't really know what to wear. And I was convinced that wearing baggy jeans and baggy jumpers made me look skinnier, until I realised actually that we're having the opposite effect. I was like, why did I not realise this before? Then, of course, we went into lockdown and I found a love for joggers because I was at home every day, wasn't going into the office. Then we get to the end of lockdown and I'm thinking, I really cannot go into the office in joggers. None of my jeans fit. And I was like, I want to go wear something different. So I bought a pair of leggings. I was like, losing weight makes your bum disappear. So leggings are really not a good look. I was like, I really have no clue kind of what to wear at all now. So that's why I got interested and was listening to you on Clubhouse, because I was like, what do people wear when they've lost weight and they don't want to live in joggers? Because as comfy as they are, they're not practical, decent for going out in other.
Yeah, and do you know, it's really interesting because I see, I work with lots of different ladies, but interestingly, when ladies lose weight, whether it be through, I don't know, a determined effort because they want to get healthier, or they just want to lose a little bit of weight, or, to do an illness or anything like that, it's really interesting because you've been seeing your body in a certain way and dressing it in a certain way for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And then suddenly when everything changes, it's a real mindset change, isn't it, for you ladies who then think, oh, hang on a minute, how and what do I wear now? Because for the ladies that I work with, they've always shopped in the same shops because that's where they've always known that they can find the clothes that they like and they feel comfortable. But when you lose the weight, do you find yourself getting now a bit more excited because you think, oh, I could go and have a look in this shop, which I put words in your mouth, but would you normally have almost discounted some of those shops?
Yeah, without a doubt. So before I would be shopping in the plus size section. Some shops, well, most shops don't have a decent plus size range, so it really limits what you can and can't wear. And then all of a sudden, when you're feeling, because of losing the weight, like you said, my confidence went up, my mindset completely changed, and I was like, no, actually, now I don't want to hide completely in baggy jeans and a big baggy hoodie. So yeah, it's completely different, and you do go into different shops, and you want in different style of clothes. Like before, I always had a hoodie on. Didn't matter whether it was the middle of summer, I still had a hoodie on. And now I'm like, I don't want to. Yeah, constantly. So we went to Scotland last couple of years ago in the July, and all the pictures, everybody's boiling in shorts and t-shirt, and I've got a hoodie on.
And was that
So
just because you felt you had to cover?
Yeah, so there was two aspects of it. So one was the weight, and I didn't want to be seen, and I was also not in a good place with my mental health. And again, that when my mental health dips, I tend to wear a hoodie, even with the hood up. And it's like when I've looked back on it and reflected, I think it's like a protective bubble that I think I've built around myself. But yeah, so I just lived in hoodie and jeans. I very seldom wore anything different.
And you see, it's really interesting because I always say clothes have an amazing way of either making you feel fantastic. They can make you feel pretty rubbish if you don't like what you're wearing or you don't feel comfortable. But in other ways, they act like a suit of armor. They act like your protective layer, which is what obviously you saying about your hoodie. that it does. And there's no right, with everything to do with style and fashion, there's no right or wrong answer. It's about how it makes you feel. It doesn't matter if you buy it, and loads of people have heard me say this before, it doesn't matter if you buy it from Primark or you buy it from Prada. If it makes you feel good and it suits your shape and you like the colour and all of that, then it should be in your wardrobe. There should be nothing in your wardrobe that you look at and think, I really don't like that on me, but I'm going to wear it anyway. Because if you look at it that way, you will never wear it. So have you seen, from your wardrobe point of view now then, have you seen a complete shift in what you like to wear? Or did you have a clear out? Have you taken things out? Have you left things in? I mean, I'm interested to see what you've done with your wardrobe.
So it's a bit of both. So I have in our attic, I've got all the clothes that I used to wear because they range from a size 20 to a size 10. So there's lots of clothes. And I don't know why I've kept them. And kids and other half will say, are you going to get rid of them anyway? I'm like, maybe one day. And I do think I need to have a good clear out. So there are lots of bits that are way too big and I don't think I will ever fit into again. But yeah, it is a completely different wardrobe now. So whereas before, I even had to move my drawers around because the way my drawers are, I've got like 2 little drawers, 2 medium drawers, and then a really deep drawer. So the really deep drawers have always been jeans and hoodie. And now I'm like, I don't need a really deep drawer for jeans and hoodie because I very rarely wear them. So now one of the deep drawers is like jogging sets. And now I'm thinking, I don't know why jogging sets either.
Yeah, and do you know what? Lockdown did throw a massive curveball in so many different ways. But it threw it in for where people used to wear a little bit more of their wardrobe. You know, they could play around because they were doing different things, whether it was going to work or going to see friends or family. When we went into that real lockdown period where we really couldn't do anything, that's when people started to wear like 5% of their wardrobe, but 95% of the time, because they weren't doing anything they were used to. They were at home. So they were I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to make sure that, you know, if I sit on the sofa, my jean, that button isn't digging into my stomach, or I don't really have a need to wear a dress while I'm at home. And and it's really interesting because everybody has gone through the same, which is why the elasticated waist became such a massive godsend, because they're comfortable, they looked good. You know, if you think of, we went into lockdown spring summer 20, we're coming out spring summer 21, but also in between was winter. So you had that, and you know, the English weather is never the best anyway, is it? So, you know, it tends to be cooler on certain days. So people were quite happy wearing the joggers. Well, if you look at even the retailers, their biggest items they sold was leisure wear. Because they sold the sets, or they sold the sweatshirts, and they sold everything like that. So what would you say now then is your couple of your favorite items to wear? Because obviously you said you always wore the hoodie, and you wore obviously the joggers during lockdown. Now we're coming out of lockdown. You know, I know we're going to come out, you know, on Monday in like a massive fanfare, but what would you say now are a couple of your favorite pieces, and where are you still finding things a little bit difficult?
So for me, I'm still quite happy sat at home in my joggers. So I have a couple of chronic conditions, well, more than a couple, but yeah, I have a fair few chronic conditions. So I was self-isolating from the very start. So I've been in lockdown for what feels like forever, let's be honest. It's nearly a year and a half now. So I've literally lived in joggers. So now I still find them the comfiest thing to wear. You could get up, drag them on, put a t-shirt on, good to go. But when I know I've got to go back into the office for my day job soon, I'm thinking I am not rocking up in a pair of green camouflage joggers and a grey t-shirt. So it's a struggle now to think what suits my body, because whereas originally I thought that the baggy jeans and the baggy hoodies did suit my body, when I look at the pictures, I'm like, they really didn't do anything for my shape or for me. It wasn't a good look either. So I'm now kind of lost with, well, what am I going to wear? So I've bought a few pairs of leggings. I'm not keen on them because I don't know whether it's my age and the weight loss combined, but all of a sudden my bum seems to have disappeared. So little one was like, Mum, you can get them leggings like everybody's got on TikTok that push your bum up. I'm like, I am not wearing them. It's like everybody else might have. Everybody's wearing them, Mum. I was like, I'm not everyone. I was like, they are not for me.
Yeah, and do you know what's really interesting though? If you're going to go back to the office, okay, so there's a couple of items that you could really still enjoy,
Yeah,
okay? So this season, the jogger, as they've called it,
yeah,
they have elevated it slightly. So you've still got that look of a jogger.
yeah,
However, in some brands, they've taken the cuff away, you know, from the bottom.
yeah,
So on the bottom of the leg, they've removed the cuff, so it's a straight leg.
yeah,
They've changed the fabric, so it's not a jersey or, you know, that whole lovely
yeah,
kind of tracksuit material, but they've gone either down a more like a satiny route, or they've gone for like a polyester, or they've
yeah,
gone for cotton. So you can, if you feel comfortable and that's your personality and you
yeah,
like that type of thing, you can still do that, but change the fabric and
yeah,
change the cuff at the bottom. So you end up with a jogger style that is very neat.
yeah,
And in your places like New Look and H&M, they've all done
yeah,
them, because I think what happened is the designers recognised that actually we are coming out of that period. Everyone has
yeah,
worn that for a long time. So try those. But then
yeah,
also
definitely.
they've done what's called the relaxed workwear.
Yeah,
So relaxed workwear is like almost like a wide leg trouser. And as long as you make sure that the wide leg balances your hips and doesn't
yeah,
necessarily go massively wider, but you can go for a really nice wide leg trouser in a relaxed fit. So you're still going to get the comfort. Now,
comfort.
again, the relaxed fit, it could be, it's summer, isn't it? It could be linen, it could be
Yeah,
cotton, it could be a polyester, it could be anything that you feel comfortable in, but they look really, really nice. So you've got that kind of idea. And then maybe what you do on the upper body, since you've lost weight, have you lost weight literally on your bust and
everywhere.
everywhere?
Yeah, literally everywhere.
Yeah. So lots of ladies would be like, wow, because, you know, you've lost your bottom and your boobs, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I do say when I speak to people, I'd like it does have a downside, because actually I was quite happy with how my boobs and my bum were.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now that they've kind of disappeared, I'm like,
Yeah. So quite a personal question, and you don't have to answer this. So have you had to go, and obviously with COVID, have
yeah,
you now gone and had a new bra fitting? Because
yeah,
obviously, yeah. And
yeah, I've had to.
yeah,
So I didn't at first, and I just kept tightening it. And then it was only a lady that I was speaking to online that sells bras. She was like, Ed, have you actually remeasured? And I was like, no, I didn't think about it. I said, I've just been wearing them tighter. And obviously I knew that the cups
yeah,
were
yeah,
massively the wrong size, because you literally, it got to the point where if I looked down with just the bra on, I could see inside the bra. And I was like, no, I didn't actually think of that. So then she sent me a little instruction thing, and I'm there with the tape measure, and I was like, there's no wonder these bras are not comfy.
yeah.
So then when I was wearing the right size bra, they didn't look like they disappeared as much as they were when I was wearing a bra that was massively oversized.
Yeah, and do you know, it's really interesting because do you know you're supposed to have a bra fitting every 6 months, because of, you may have lost weight, put on
Yeah,
weight, you know, menopausal ladies have changed shape, perimenopausal or anything like that. We do change shape. And you're supposed to have a bra fitting every 6 months. There are some ladies who I have been in contact with, they have never, ever had a bra fitting. And what happens?
that's what I was like. My mum took me for a bra fitting when I was in my late teens. I remember rocking up to Marks and Spencer's and thinking, this is so embarrassing as a
Yeah,
teenager.
yeah.
And then I've never actually had a professional bra fitting from then.
But
So
it
it was
makes,
over 20 years.
yeah, and it, do you know, it makes such a difference though, because I
Yeah,
always say if you get the scaffolding right underneath,
yeah,
all the clothes sit beautifully. Because, you know, if you think about it, if you put the bust where it's supposed to sit,
yeah,
you create
that's exactly.
a massive elongation between the base of the bust and your tummy.
Yeah,
It gives a much, much better shape. So what you we digressed then, didn't we? But what you could do on your upper body is, so that you feel like you're going to work, and again,
yeah,
you've got to work this with your personality, but maybe add in like a shirt, so something with
yeah,
a collar. Doesn't have to be rigid. If you're thinking, oh no, that's going to be too formal, you can still use like a chiffon fabric or a
yeah,
silk style fabric, something like that, so it will still elevate It will still go with the joggers. It would still go with the relaxed wear. Or the other option is go for a dress. You know, there's so many like tunic style dresses and beautiful mid-length dresses, but you've got to make sure you still give your torso definition.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Because then you'll create that shape automatically. It's when, like you said, you go for the sweatshirt and the jeans that were too big. What happens is you then end up having the clothes wearing you, not you wearing the clothes. And that's why I bet when you look in the mirror in a bigger clothes, you appear bigger, because what's happening is they're just drowning you. And that's why every single person, doesn't matter whether you are a size 4 or a size 24, you still need to give your body shape, like a definition, whether it's you know, a sewn in sleeve here because it will define the shoulders, or whether it comes in at the waist, doesn't have to cling, but it's got to come in. You can do so much and do it that way. What do you like, Ed? Are you quite I mean, obviously we can, for those of people who are watching on Zoom, they're going to see that your hair is purple and it's a little bit edgy. And for those that are listening, you are definitely quirky just by looking at you. Do you find your clothes represent you as a person, or do you feel that you almost tame down a little bit from the person that you are?
So I tend to sway. I think it depends on how I feel when I get up and what I'm doing and how my confidence is as to what I wear. So, like, if I'm going out, because at the minute it's only been a case of going to the shop, so I will just go in my joggers. I have recently fallen in love again with polo neck t-shirts.
Yes.
And I'm really liking them. And I'm like, I don't know why, but now, whereas before I would actually buy them from the men's section because they were bigger and they were baggier, and now I'm like, I look at the men's and I'm not wearing them. They're just not even,
no shape.
They look like a sack. And I think before I was convinced that the bigger I was, the baggier my clothes needed to be. So if anybody that is listening to this, that's definitely not true. When I look back at the pictures, they were hanging off me and made me appear a good 2 sizes bigger than I was. So it wasn't helpful.
And Ed, you're not alone though. For ladies that are slightly, you know, larger or more of a plus size, they do think, I'm just going to cover. But actually, just covering makes the area look bigger. And that's what I'm saying, you know, it doesn't matter what size you are, you need to give your body structure. And I know in some ways it's very difficult, but there are some great brands online as well, excuse me, that do more plus sizes. You're absolutely right. A lot of the retailers are very sparse for both plus sizes and petite.
Yeah, definitely.
Little, you know, sizing. But also one thing to think about is, again, use the size labels as a guide, but don't get het up about them, because a size, for example, a size 8 in Marks and Spencer's could potentially be a size 14 in Zara. Because
I've noticed that.
You know, other brands, like the European brands, like the Stradivarius, the Monkey, all of those, they cut smaller. You know, the Mangoes. So you're going to have to go bigger, and that's why just use the size as a guide, and sometimes almost ignore the size. Look at the shape. You know, I had a client the other day, and she was a size 12, and then in one of the tops she had, it was a size 8, because the cut was so square that we used it in a different way to do different things. So do you get more excited now by clothes?
Yeah, definitely. So before, buying clothes was a chore, and it was a case of I'd go to Primark or to Asda, and it was just go in, grab something because I needed an item of clothing, and I wasn't really bothered about what it was. Whereas now, I enjoy buying clothes. So statement t-shirts, I love polo shirts. It's more the bottom half that I struggle with as well, because before it was like always really baggy jeans. So now I've bought a couple of pairs of skinny jeans, a couple of pairs of jeggings, a couple of pairs of actual leggings, but I'm like, I don't really know what I want to wear. So like the skinny jeans and a polo shirt, I think look quite nice together. And then it's like, well, what do I wear on my feet? Because I've always worn baggy jeans. I've always worn kind of high top trainers. So it's like high top trainers that do not look the same with the other jeans. So it's kind of the whole thing. And because I've gone from a size 20 down to a size 10, nothing fits other than my shoes, because your feet are about the only thing that don't lose weight. And I'm looking at my shoes and I'm thinking, I don't really like them anymore. So I've got loads of pairs of trainers and I'm like, I don't like any of them.
But you know what? You could always, so if you think about a skinny jean, they taper in at your ankle.
Yeah.
So if you put a high top, what you do, the high top, because it comes slightly higher up the ankle,
Yeah.
changes the skinny almost into a straight cut jean.
Yeah.
So you create that. The thing is, don't forget, you can always roll those skinny jeans up just a couple, so to show your ankle, because then that's another focal point. Maybe try even something like a loafer, or a ballet pump, as in a way that makes sure though that it represents your personality, because they're quite feminine, they're quite classic. But even if it was, I don't know, an animal print or a red pair, I can see you kind of wearing, and do that kind of thing. But yeah, or even like a thong sandal, you could do that in the summer. You can go for a flip-flop style look. You can do that. And then, of course, as the winter comes in, autumn, winter, then you could put like an ankle boot. Or for you, you might even go for like a biker boot, something like that, a little bit more edgy, with then maybe like a nice knit or something like that. So it's really interesting, isn't it? You're almost going down a whole new learning pattern of how to almost rework the shops, go and see what they do, and then do you find it exciting, or has some of it been a bit kind of hard work?
So it's both. It is exciting, but it is also hard work, because I've spent that long kind of programmed. And you program your brain. So I know which shops to go in. I know which section of which shops I would go in. I'd live in places like Sports Direct. And now it's like, no, them shops don't do anything that I want to wear. So it is that reprogramming your brain and kind of getting used to wearing a whole different thing. Because automatically I try to wear the same, and I'm kind of having to override my own brain and say, no, actually, we're not doing that today.
Do you feel almost a bit of a different person to the person?
Completely.
Do you? If you don't mind me asking, how long did it take you to lose the weight?
So I lost 40 pounds in the first 3 months, and then it slowed down after that. So it was February 2019 when I started. Lost, like I say, 40 pounds in that first few months, and then it's been slower till about a year ago, where it was up to 70 pounds, and then lockdown didn't help me any more than it helped anyone else, put on a few extra pounds there, and then I've lost them again since.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting talking to you, because it is now, isn't it? You feel like a different person, and now you have to dress that different person. And you're confident. I can see in you, you're confident. I've spoken to you for so many months now on Clubhouse. You ooze the confidence. And what's really lovely now, you can start to cherry pick exactly different brands. Do you know what I would say? And I know obviously you said you were self-isolating. If you get the chance, I would go to a shopping centre. Where's your nearest one? Sheffield?
Yeah, we've got one in Doncaster, but as you can imagine, it's not a great deal of use. There isn't many shops in it. But yeah, I'm not far from Meadowhall at Sheffield. So
okay, so if you get a chance, I would go first thing in the morning, get there for a 9 o'clock when they open, and literally just wander in and out of the different stores, and with no ulterior motive, with no objective, no nothing. Just go and see what they're doing, so you can kind of start to go where you said you always go to the same shops. You've now got to kind of get excited by the other retailers. Just literally go in and wander like I would do, when I go in, I have a look who's doing what colours are there, what styles are there, what shapes. Do I like this kind of styling? Because you might go into H&M and think, actually, I don't really like how they do things. You might go into, I don't know, Jack Wills and go, yeah, I like this, it's a bit preppy. Or you might go into All Saints and think, yeah, I like this, it's a bit edgy. But on the flip side, you might go into, I don't know, Max Mara, for example, and think, oh no, way too classic for me. But until you start wandering and see what they're doing, how they're doing it, will you start to relearn a different learning pattern. The other thing to do is go to a shopping centre, go to a departmental store.
Yeah.
And literally, because then you'll have loads of brands all under one roof. So for you, if you want to kind of, as I say, get in, get done and get out at 9 o'clock in the morning, go to even a department store, because they'll carry different brands. So if you go to like a John Lewis, they've got things like Mango, Hush, you know, Mint Velvet, Jigsaw. They've got loads and loads of different brands. You can do that. But it's going to be another re-education process, but a very exciting one.
Yeah, definitely. And it is exciting now. And like before, I wouldn't have dreamed that clothes shopping could be exciting. Whereas now I'm like, I actually quite enjoy it.
Yeah, and do the same thing online. You know, I know everyone, for those ladies who are still enjoying online, it is about, you know, from the comfort of your own home, dip across all the websites, just have a look who's doing what. And if you can't, I don't know, say you were thinking, I'd really love a red jumper or a red top, just put in red tops and it will show you loads of different retailers, and just literally dip around them, because there are some amazing brands out there online. So Ed, just before we close, and I could talk to you forever, where can people find you? And because we kind of started at the beginning, but you told us your business point of view. What do you do? Just tell everybody your business side.
Yep, so if people want to find me, I run a group on Facebook called Ed's Online Positivity Cafe, which originally I started to help support people to lose weight. But then when we went into lockdown, and I hate the word pivot, but I can't think of a better word for it, but I did pivot the group slightly, like everybody else seems to have pivoted in lockdown. And I made the group a bit more, so it was less customer focused, and it was more about all aspects of positivity. So we discuss about mindset and confidence, as well as the health side of it as well, because I now sell health products that help people to lose weight. So don't get me wrong, for some people, going to the gym and doing a calorie deficit diet works for them. But for me, going to the gym wasn't an option. I had a full-time job, 2 kids, lots of chronic conditions. So going to the gym just was never going to happen. So I tried all sorts of potions and lotions online, and nothing seemed to work. But then I was lucky to find one that did work for me. So now, because of the huge transformation it's had for me, not only in the weight loss aspect, but also in my confidence, now it's changed me as a person. So it was a no-brainer for me to then go on and sell the products. So yeah, I sell products that help with weight loss, energy, immunity boosting, and sleep.
Oh, fantastic. And I'm not sure if you dipped a little bit. Just what's your Facebook group called again?
So it's called Ed's Online Positivity Cafe.
Okay, I think that you just dipped slightly, so I just wanted people to be able to hear that again. I really appreciate you coming, because your openness and your honesty has been fantastic to listen to. I hope everybody has enjoyed it. Please do pop over to Ed's page and have a look, and join up and see what else, if you want to get a little bit more. I've been listening to this lady for about 6-7 months now, so it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you for joining me, and we will see everybody next week for episode 18.